I'm Sam Coleman. I'm an actor and a local performing arts teacher, and I'm also a carer for my mum and my sister.
I'm Roger McCarthy. I've worked in housing, I've worked in healthcare.
I live in Sidley, in Faygate Close, with my mum and my sister and our 3 dogs, Ollie, Izzy and Dancer. I spend a lot of time in Sidley. I shop in Sidley High Street. I get my chips from Sidley Chippy. I drink at the New Inn. And I absolutely love the village. It's a gorgeous place and it's got a real sense of community about it, and I really like that.
The one advantage, I think, of coming into a town from outside is you can actually kind of look at it with a more or less a fresh perspective, and it becomes kind of really sort of obvious where things are getting better and where they're getting worse.
I feel there's a lot of people, especially in Sidley, whose voices haven't been heard and haven't been listened to by politicians and councillors and people in power. I look around my road and other roads nearby, all my neighbours, and I'm shocked at how many of them have had to use food banks recently, and how many of them are really struggling to get by. Many of them hard-working families. These are working class people who have been pushed down and really felt the brunt of the Conservatives' austerity policies.
Having lived outside the area, I'm actually, well, my experience I think is of councils that are much more proactive and much more customer focused and much more dynamic, really, in terms of, well, actually building houses. Which is something Rother Council under the Conservatives are so bad at that they've even failed their own Conservative government's targets for the year. And yes, it really doesn't need to be like this. We need to build more affordable houses. We need to genuinely regenerate our high streets.
A year or so back, we were nearly made homeless. The private landlord that we were renting under decided to sell their property, and you know what, that's fine, that's the prerogative of a landlord. But at that point, what we experienced was that because my mum and my sister are on disability benefits, we couldn't find anywhere to rent privately that wasn't extremely expensive, because so many private rental properties now have no benefits in their terms and conditions.
The reason we need new blood in the council is, it is primarily to actually bring some focus back. So it's not enough to have targets to build new houses and then to just fail to meet them. Every year you basically actually have to build more houses, and above all affordable houses that people who already live here can actually afford to buy or afford to rent. That's going to be one of my key priorities.
I'm really excited, if I get elected, to be able to encourage, promote and create some new opportunities for young people in Sidley. Since 2017 I've been heavily involved in the Labour Party's campaign to get Sidley Sports Ground back to being a sports and social club again. I campaigned quite heavily with local residents against a developer who was trying to build homes on the site, and not even affordable homes but unaffordable private rental properties that weren't suitable to the area. And since then I've been very supportive of Heart of Sidley and other groups who have been trying to get the ground back to being a sports and social ground. And if I'm a councillor, I will make sure that the council give whatever financial and cooperative support is needed to get that ground back to what it should be, a sports and social ground, because I feel that's really important for the residents of Sidley.
I have quite a lot of knowledge of planning and regeneration projects from the development side. And I also have a very strong background in statistics and data, and actually using information to identify what the problems are in an area and how they can actually be addressed.
If I got elected to council, I'd hope that I can provide a voice for the many people in Sidley who maybe haven't found a voice yet, or from local politicians. I can't wait to be able to stand in that chamber and talk passionately and positively about the many wonderful things that are happening in Sidley, and to put forward Labour's many wonderful ideas about what could happen in Sidley.